Red Wings hockey on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Ram, official truck of the Detroit Red Wings. By Myers, save big with M-Perks from Myers. Sign up at mperks.com. And by Xfinity, your home for most live sports.
Well, leadership, preparation, getting started on time, and the goaltender. Our penalty kill is first time in our penalty kill has been, our penalty kill is our greatest strength and has become a problem.
Mike Babcock, yes indeed, it was a bounce-back game for the Red Wings in Pittsburgh on Sunday afternoon, much to the coach's delight. Yes, their penalty killing, which had struggled badly lately, was much better. Peter Mrazek faced a lot of shots. As he said, goaltending was key, and Mrazek had a big game in Pittsburgh on Sunday afternoon as the Red Wings stopped the skid and won the game. Our Southeast Michigan Ford dealers on this night. Peter Mrazek, once again, he won here making 37 saves back on January 27th, so a second straight start since being recalled 5 games ago. And Roberto Luongo's third appearance against Detroit this season. He's 1-1-1, but below 500 all-time facing the Wings. Now, Luongo returned after missing 6 with a shoulder injury. He went down in a loss to Toronto, as did their other goaltender, former Wolverine Al Montoya. But Roberto Luongo returned to finish the game that night after a trip to the clinic for a CAT scan. But here he is making the start, his first and 7, and the Panthers, chasing a playoff spot, are happy to have Roberto Luongo back in goal. And there's Dan Ellis, the backup netminder for the Florida Panthers tonight, and he's been carrying the load. He played 6 games, won 3 of them. Former Red Wing Gerard Gallant played 563 games with Detroit from 84 to 93. He's got the Panthers in a hunt, but they'll need the points almost every game and need some help too. The Red Wings need points as well. Ghislain Hebert and Marc Jonette are the referees tonight, and we're underway with 2 big lines opposing one another. Zetterberg back with his familiar mates, Cole and Abdelkader, who were separated for the game in Pittsburgh. But with Datsuk out, it's a reversal of former fortune again for the Red Wings, as Jágr is out with Barkov and Huberdeau for Florida. Jágr in his 21st season goes after Jonathan Ericsson, flipped ahead by Kronwall, moved on to Zetterberg. Kronwall joins the attack. Into the zone for Cole, and a shot in on Luongo. He'll hold on. 36 seconds into the game as Chris Osgood brings you the keys to this game.
Peter Mrazek and Roberto Luongo here, the starting goalies for tonight's game. And here are the keys to the game for the Red Wings to beat this Panthers team, who is desperate. They got to win the battle in the trenches. That's in front of the opposition's goal and in front of their net, improve on the penalty kill, win those battles on the boards. Red Wings do those things tonight, they should be successful here in Florida.
As Sheahan center one, Quincy couldn't get over there in time, out there along with the Kaiser. Darren Helm in his return to the lineup for the Red Wings. Giving it to Tatar, back to Helm, and a quick shot. And Luongo had to make that save. As Brandon Peary played it in behind. Watch out for number 73 for Florida. 13 goals the past 18. And a lead stretch pass into Mrazek. A save on Brad Boyes, who was in all alone. The former 40-goal scorer with St. Louis has 12 this season and 4th in points on the Panthers, and Mrazek stoned him.
Yeah, well, you see Mike Babcock looked down the bench, wondering how this pass made it all the way through. Peter Mrazek really bails out his teammates. Quincy de Kaiser, miscommunication at the blue. And this isn't that hard of a pass. This should be defendable. Panthers forward comes in. Mrazek out in the blue, big glove up, taking away that upper portion of the net, makes a nice save.
Joachim Andersen into the center slot with Teemu Pulkkinen and Gus Nyquist. Nyquist goes after the puck. Into the Florida zone is Pulkkinen, the 2-goal scorer from Sunday, and the game-winning goal in Pittsburgh. First 2-goal National Hockey League game for Teemu Pulkkinen. Brendan Smith on defense with Marek Jedlicki, who's been piling up the points with 7 in 7 games, 3 of them goals, and a game winner. Jedlicki tried to knock down that puck. Indeed he did. Brendan Smith got over to take it. Calmly settled things and gave it away, though, to Jussi Jokinen, number 36 for Florida. Slithered one back to the point. The shot by Campbell deflected and wide. In goes Jokinen, put it into the other corner for Derek McKenzie, the former Blue Jacket. Back to the point to Gabranson. Knocked back out by Mrazek. Polkinen on the right wing. Flipped one into Florida territory. Both teams in the midst of changes. Here comes former Red Wing Tomas Kopecky, who'd been a healthy scratch back in the lineup. Got a shot on Mrazek, and then a hold on to that Derek McKenzie try. And a face-off coming up to his left.
Mrazek with a nice save here from the blue line. What he does here that's good is there's some track in front. He gets this puck out of there. He blockers that into the slot where two Red Wing players are, hoping that they could track that down. Wish they did, and they got out of the zone. Nice heads-up play by Mrazek there.
Panthers win that face-off. Mitchell with a shot just wide of the goal. Hoping for a redirect. Kopecky taken out by Glendening. Huberdeau put one back to the point, but it was knocked away by Drew Miller. Miller got one into the zone. 49 career goals for Miller. Out there with Glendening and Thomas Jurko. And again, Stephen Weiss a healthy scratch tonight. It's been a lot of years here in Florida. Back to the point and deflected just wide. Last meeting in here, actually, Weiss had a three-point game. On the night when Glendening scored 2. Quincy knocked it in for Miller. Miller has plenty of time across. And Glendening couldn't bury that. And a big save there by Roberto Luongo on Luke Glendening. A good chance for him early on after scoring 2 in here late January.
Yeah.
Must like the way things are going here.
Luongo showing no rust early in this game.
Pass for Barkov, couldn't get through, knocked away by Eriksson. Turned back here by Abdelkader. Kronwall for Henrik Zetterberg. That goal on Sunday, Zetterberg's first in 16 games. A welcome relief for him, but he does so much else, as you're well aware. Jágr in for Barkov. Picked off here by Cole, and the Red Wings in control will settle back. Good play by Jonathan Eriksson. Erik Cole into the Florida zone. Abdelkader, Zetterberg, quick shot just wide. Cole trying to find it, just knocked away. Picked up by Alex Petrovic, who's in the lineup tonight as Steve Kampfer, another former Wolverine, is out as Petrovic comes in. Back on their blue line. Boys got it back, and the quick shot by Nick Bjugstad, the 22-year-old, their leading goal scorer with 24. Here comes Tatar. Tried to cut back to the middle, couldn't do it. Played back for Peary, and a good play ahead. Brought back in by Bjugstad. Checked by Tatar, but keeps control. It came back to the line, put right back in, but wide of Mrazek. Ryan Campbell moved up on Tatar. Played by Zhidlitsky to center to Sheahan. A back pass into the zone for Helm. Helm gets checked, but keeps on going for Tatar now. Helm has it on his stick. Looks back to the line. That shot rifled high by Zhidlitsky. Helm couldn't pick it up. Campbell around for Boyes, who had that breakaway try. Quick outlet there for Bjugstad, got checked. And now Brad Boyes gave it away. Smith kept it in the zone, dropped it back behind Polkinen. Just a little too quick for Smith to Polkinen.
Heads up play by Smith there to jump into the play and create opportunity. Should have taken that to the hole and taken a shot himself, though. Got a little too cute at the end of that play.
Back at the line for Erica Branson, the 3rd overall pick in 2010, number 44. On that Panther blue line, given away there as Jokinen threw it back to the line. Mitchell the shot, sailed wide of Mrazek. Nyquist tried to punch it out of the zone, couldn't do it. Bolin able to put it back in. Dale Talon knew Bolin well from his days in Chicago. Here comes Anderson, 2-on-1, along with Nyquist, who's got it, shoots it, and missed on the far side. Taken away in a good play at center ice by Polkinen. So good chances for both teams early on in this game with barely 6 minutes gone in it. Chipped from center by Miller. Luongo will shoot it around. Zhidlitsky moves up and able to block on the first outlet try by Kopecky. Second effort moved in here for Kopecky. Kopecky cuts in on a backhand. Still going. Couldn't get a shot. Penalty coming to Detroit. Hooking the call as Thomas Kopecky, the former Red Wing, made that happen. So Detroit will be shorthanded.
Now welcome back. The Red Wings at 2 of their best chances. Come back to back. The first chance, Miller making a nice play. Good keep in here by Quincy. Miller makes a nice patient play here. Finds Glendenning wide open. Luongo, who's missed 6 straight games, isn't exactly looking sharp, moving side to side. The Red Wings might want to get him moving. And here Nyquist with the shot. Luongo out of the net, but coming across from the initial Anderson pass. Didn't really look too smooth. They got to get Luongo moving tonight.
So the Florida Panthers are on a power play. Just 2 for 16 their past 6 games. Red Wing penalty killing was perfect in Pittsburgh. First time in 10 games they've been that way. So that's a boost for them, and Mrazek was a big part of that. So the Panthers work with the man advantage here. Aaron Ekblad, what a player he is, number 5, their rookie defenseman. Moving in goes Jonathan Huberdeau into the middle to Barkov. Back here to Ekblad, now to Bukestad. One-timer save, Mrazek. Jágr goes for it. And there's Mrazek again, as you were speaking of, Chris. No rebounds. Able to keep that puck in front of him, but able to grab it too.
And one of his biggest assets, Kent, is the way he reads plays on the ice. He's very, very good at it. He's already there before this shot is taken. Watch him move across. Boom. He's square. He's stationary. He's ready for that shot. He takes it in the pad area and really corrals this rebound. That's Jaromir Jágr there. This is a very dangerous player. Mrazek, great job to control that rebound and make sure there's no second opportunity for the future Hall of Famer.
Jussi Jokinen on this draw with Riley Sheahan. Mrazek able to move it to Abdelkader, and just like you said in the open tonight, Mrazek's puck handling ability there was a play right there.
And it's just a 5-foot play, but it's a big play. He gets that puck in possession of his defenseman and enables him to make a quick play to get that puck down the ice.
Bolin brought it in. Play onside. There's Mrazek. A neat little play back for Quincy. Nubbed in behind by Sheahan and wrapped around by DeKeyser, and down it goes again. So goaltending helping a penalty kill is not just stopping the puck, but also moving it out of harm's way. Here come the Panthers right in. A big stop there on boys again by Peter Mrazek. Just like early on in Pittsburgh. Coming up big here in Florida. There's Mrazek to play it. Kronwall right there for Anderson. Off the glass. This time didn't get out. Referee got in Anderson's way a little bit. Here's Boyes, top of the left circle. Back to the line to Brian Campbell. Across a shot. And Mrazek holds on to that Brendan Pirri attempt. Maybe the neatest thing about Peter Mrazek, Chris, is the ability to break in pads. He's got the Vaughn pads on, and I know Eddie Lack in Vancouver has the split Canucks logo. Peter Mrazek has a split Red Wings logo. What did he have these pads for? 5 days before? He wore them in Pittsburgh, and he had them, what, 4 or 5 days before and ready to go?
The only other goalie I've heard of doing that is Grant Fear, played in St. Louis, played in Edmonton. He'd take him right out of the box and throw him on. Peter Mrazek is the same way. These pads look fabulous. I heard the Twitter world blew up, and I don't know anything about Twitter, but I guess these pads are very, very popular, and they look great on him, and he's playing great in them.
Point shot and tipped just wide of the goal. Jonathan Huberdeau to get it. Barkov kept it alive. Miller standing in the box, waiting to come out. Now he is. Chipped to the line, but not out. And that shot by Kulikov sailed high over top of the goal, brought on here by Helm. Speeding through center, as is his wont. Takes the shot and just went wide of the net. Panthers clear it to center. Quincy able to regain control, but hounded on the way back by Jágr, who's up along with Huberdeau. Red Wings thought it should have been a penalty. Panthers think that one should have been, as Helm got his money's worth the other way. Even up on both sides as Helm got it through the middle for Miller. Miller across center and in. Abdelkader out with Cole and Zetterberg. Kopecky couldn't get through Brendan Smith. Zhidlitsky flipped it ahead, and Zetterberg the rest of the way. Behind the net for Petrovic. Around to the far side, tipped to center by Upshaw. Brought on by Kopecky. Kopecky showing he wants to be in the lineup every night. Been a healthy scratch at times. Gabranson came in for Florida. Covering up at the line was Upshaw. The shot to the goal was blocked by Brendan Smith, picked up there by Gabranson. Kopecky on the wing shattered his stick on the shot. That'll be held by Mrazek. Jaromir Jagr playing in his 9th game, his 21st season, 9th with Florida, a goal and 5 points, and here his career ranks. And remember, spent 3 seasons overseas in the midst of all this, so think where he'd be. And have way more than 717 goals.
Staggering numbers and down around the Panthers dressing room before the game. Wow, he's in top physical condition too. Looks as if he can play a lot more years. And wow, nice addition, Dale Tallon, going out and picking Jagr up from the Devils. Really great pickup to go with these young stars they have on this team.
He's 43 years old. His line mates, Barkov and Huberdeau, combined 40.
Must be a thrill for them to play alongside him. So much to learn from a player with the talent of Jagr.
And that's just it. This is a young group who may not make the playoffs, but what he'll bring as a mentor to this group could be worth it for Florida in the short term even. Luongo tipped it aside, and to get it goes Polkinen. Jonathan Ericsson backhanded it in, now rimmed around to the far side. Kronwall moved up. Knocked down by Polkinen. Looks back into the middle. Nyquist, good move. Backhander hit a leg in front. Nyquist has it again for Polkinen. Back to the point. Kronwall walks the line, and the shot went high and over top of the goal. Joakim Andersson for Polkinen. Good move on the rookie Gabranson in front of the goal for Nyquist, but knocked away. So one rookie on another there, and a nice move by Polkinen to lift the stick of Aaron Ekblad. Here's Boyes moving it ahead, knocked away from Peary. And just offside. Well, we told you earlier how the Panthers had troubles in a game here with goaltenders injured. Back on March 3rd against Toronto, Roberto Luongo got hurt there. Then Al Montoya came into the game, and he got hurt. So what do the Panthers do?
And my old partner from the Seattle Thunderbirds, now the goalie coach for the Florida Panthers, Rob Tallis, almost had to go in his worst nightmare. Wow, was he nervous. Hands were shaking putting his skates on.
So then the Panthers this past week, 1,500 participants for a backup goaltender, chance of a lifetime. And they narrowed it down to 2, first to 60, and then down to 2 that remains. And one of those, Alex Ruggiero, who is Angela's brother, who was a great U.S. Olympian defenseman, the women's U.S. Olympic team, Angela, and we all know about her. And good for Alex being one of the 2 finalists as they picked a goaltender out of 1,500 who just want the opportunity to be a backup just in the building if something like this happens, and there's no guarantee down the road any team. Nothing's been solidified with GMs if that's what's going to happen down the road, but better safe than sorry, I guess.
Oh, for sure. I'm surprised there's 1,500 goalies they could find that wanted that job.
Well, they came from far and wide. They came from across Canada and the United States just for the chance to suit up. Nice save there by Mrazek. Came back to the line, and a Mitchell shot was stopped, and Bukestad was checked, just as he was going to have an opportunity by Zetterberg. Gabranson, and a save there, Mrazek. Abdelkader gets it out to center. Back in the corner for Gabranson. And I can understand why Rob Tallis would have been nervous. I'm sure Jim Bedard in the same situation would have been too, as well as he plays for the Alumni.
He told me he would have been perfectly fine, but I find that hard to believe. And Rob Tallis, who only played twice a year, he told me not a lot, and that's recreational hockey in a game that had playoff implications from the 2-2 tie. Nerve-wracking experience for sure.
So if you were in the building and the Red Wings needed you, would you go in?
Yes, I would.
Okay, good.
For sure I would.
Good answer. And you'd probably
Would I be
just
nervous?
fine.
Yes, I'd be nervous.
Sure.
And thanks for the support.
Yeah, I think you'd be great. Well, in the old days when goaltenders got hurt, we always said, who's the next? And it was always going to be Maltby, remember? He always wanted to put the pads on. Who'd be the next player to go in? But that's not safe either. So best to have a goaltender on hand just in case. But Luongo is back after missing the previous 6. This will be icing, and the faceoff coming back in the Detroit zone. Well, get to the Joe tomorrow for the Big Ten Men's Ice Hockey Tournament semifinals when Michigan State, Minnesota, and others battle for a chance at the title. Tickets start at just $20. Call 313-471-7575 now. Ticket executives are standing by. And here's the bracket. In the first game today that is complete, Ohio State beat Penn State, so it'll be Ohio State against Minnesota. And the winner of Michigan-Wisconsin will take on the Spartans. So big day tomorrow in the Big Ten at Joe Louis Arena. So get there for tickets. Wouldn't it be something if it's Michigan and Michigan State, who had a great regular season, 16 teams will make the NCAA tourney with 6 automatic bids to the conference tourney champs. So the Joe's winner moves on from the Big Ten. So big games coming up still tonight and tomorrow. Zhidlitsky over the stick of Luke Glendening, and this will go down the ice. And speaking of the Big Ten and the Michigan Wolverines, let's take a look at the Flagstar Bank Star Watch. And congrats to Red Wings' 15th overall pick last June, Dylan Larkin, the Big Ten Freshman of the Year. 14 goals, 43 points. Second in points per game in the NCAA behind Jack Eichel of BU. And Dylan Larkin wearing number 19 because he loves Steve Yzerman. And how about his line mate, Zach Hyman, Hobey Baker Award finalist and the Florida Panthers' 5th-round draft pick. And they have just been tearing up the Big Ten in points this year. And Red Berenson loves the way that Zach Hyman plays too, thinks he's NHL ready, not maybe a top 6 forward. But certainly thinks 3rd or 4th line for sure to start.
And speaking of NHL already, interesting to see if Larkin decides to come out or stay with Michigan Wolverines for one more season or come out and try and go pro. The Red Wings have a lot of young players in Grand Rapids as well. It'll be interesting to see how that shakes out.
Red Berenson has always said, if a player's ready, I'll drive him to the airport. And to Dylan Larkin's credit, he said it's up to Red. It's up to the Red Wings. I love my time at Michigan. Really mentored this year by Zach Hyman, the Florida Panthers draft pick too. Zach's 22 years old. Dylan's just 18. They learn so much and mesh so well together. So when he's ready, he won't crack the Red Wings lineup a year from now, that's for sure, but where is best for his future development, all to be decided. But he looks like a great player to come. And some thought Dylan Larkin may go 8, 9, or 10 in the draft. Nyquist taken out of the play there by Bolin. In front was Polkinen, just missed it. Carried through by Jokinen. But the Red Wings will take over. Smith for Zhidlitsky, moved quickly here to Nyquist. Cuts back to the left. Took a quick shot into the glove of Luongo. And the chance of Lou going up here at the BB&T Center.
And really, Ken, every single year this guy's played in the National Hockey League, it's been very good. Every season his save percentage is around 920. Very good years in Vancouver. Really surprised in the end. He ended up leaving Vancouver. Florida Panthers very fortunate. They needed a veteran goaltender to go along with their younger players, and he's been a rock for them all season long.
That face-off won by Zetterberg to Quincy. And again, Luongo catches that, and he will hold on.
And that's a huge difference maker when you can have a veteran guy that's won a lot of hockey games, played in a lot of different scenarios in the playoffs, and you bring him in with a younger team. You can see all the Edmonton Oilers are really in need of a goaltender like that. Winnipeg Jets, to another extent, get a veteran goaltender in there, can really settle things down.
Another draw one, and another save made by Luongo as Zetterberg dominant there, and Eriksson got that shot away. You're watching Red Wings hockey on Fox Sports Detroit. Thanks, Mick. And there's the great number 16, Vladimir Konstantinov. And here's today's fun fact, brought to you by Southgate Lincoln. Happy birthday, Vladdy, on this March the 19th, born on this date in 1967. 48 today for Vladdy, so happy birthday to you. Boy, would have loved to have seen him continue to go. Was he ever a force, huh?
What a great player. I see that. I think what could have been.
Yeah, for sure.
Moving forward, wow.
Yep. With great spirits, we see him down at the Joe and comes to see the Red Wings quite a bit and head down to the room. That's just offside. And also want to send out after a lengthy hospital stay, a great Red Wing fan, 91 years old, Olympia Staples. And if your first name's Olympia, you better be a great Red Wing fan.
I love it.
Right? So get well soon.
Doesn't get any better than that.
Sheahan got that draw back as Quincy gives it for Danny DeKeyser. Quincy just put it up the left wing boards. Petrovic for Florida. To Kulikov. Into the Red Wing zone. Tatar back for Sheahan. Tatar's on the move, and he's got the puck. 3 Red Wings are up as Quincy joins, along with Helm. There's Quincy. He's got it. And his shot goes up high. Strong move by DeKeyser into the slot. Shane pulled it back for DeKeyser as the Red Wings regroup. Both teams in the midst of a change. Under 5 to play here in the opening period. Florida's doubled the shots. And that's deflected out of play. Previous 3 meetings, all 1-goal games. Mrazek played the last one in here and won the game 5-4, even though the Red Wings had a big lead in that game at 5-2, and Florida made it close. One late in the second and one middle of the third. And his start, 42 saves against Pittsburgh on Sunday. I mentioned Florida in the 3 meetings with the Panthers this season, all 1-goal games. Florida leads the National Hockey League. 43 1-goal games they played and 23 here at home, tied with Nashville for the most at home in 1-goal games. Deflected in front. Oh, and Nyquist couldn't bury that off the post. As Luongo maybe got a piece and then goal post. Here's Jedlitsky. Got checked by Kopecky. 2 of the all-name team guys. Nyquist back of the net. Into the slot, the shot, and Anderson didn't get what he wanted on that. Volkinen had the rim around block. Teemu Pokinen with it. 5 goals in the season. Couldn't break through. Was played by Aaron Ekblad. Then Bolin sends one back. Stepping up on the play was Kronwall to intercept. Bolin knocked one back. Florida on the outside of the playoffs. 7 points out. Chasing Boston for the wild card. Boston chasing Detroit in the Atlantic. Red Wings in third. They'll be in Tampa tomorrow night, 7:30 on Fox Sports Detroit. 7 o'clock, Red Wings live. The Lightning so good at home, and that play is offside at the Red Wing line.
The latest chance, the Red Wings here, this line's been very good so far. Nice chip in, which starts it out by Anderson, and nice aggressive forecheck by Nyquist, and continues to head towards the net. And Luongo, who's not great side to side, and he hasn't played for 6 games, so this is going to be a struggle for him tonight. Really doesn't get his footing, slides, falls backwards. Nyquist could have elevated that, hit the net. That would have been a sure goal.
Gus Nyquist, who'd love to get on track, has himself just 2 goals the past 18 games. And that's unlike Nyquist, but against Florida, he got a 6-game point streak with 5 goals in that span. And the Red Wings have had a terrific streak against the Panthers, period. Here in Florida, they're 10-0-4. They're past 14 here at the BB&T Center. They lost in regulation here back on February 8th of '96.
So the exact opposite of Philadelphia.
Yes, right. That's right.
Which is a good thing, because we're in Florida tonight.
In more ways than one, that's a good thing. Here's Jagr. I know that you stayed in your room all day, working. Did not enjoy the sunshine whatsoever. Unlike the thousands of spring breakers who did. Zetterberg. Applicator taking the boards by Mitchell. 37-year-old Mitchell, their captain, 2-time Cup winner with Los Angeles. Jagr couldn't get past DeKeyser. Jagr so strong on that puck, gives it to Alexander Barkov. Knocked down back of the net by Quincy in a good play. Huberdeau couldn't pick it up. Huberdeau, the Rookie of the Year in 2013. Huberdeau's got it. Gerard Gallant was his junior coach and a teammate at the same time of Thomas Yurko of the Red Wings. Zetterberg ahead for Eric Cole. Gloved it down. Back to get it is Petrovic. Both teams changing. He finds Kulikov. Shane gets it back after yelling at Mrazek to leave it, but Mrazek moved it. Eriksson, tipped by Zetterberg, taken away by Kulikov, nearly given away at the line. Florida across center, dumps it in. There's Mrazek, an outlet for Tatar, played it back but gave it away. So Mrazek did his part. Tatar didn't do his on that occasion. Peary over for Boyes, who's had 2 great chances here in the first period. As Brad Boyes. Riley Sheahan had a goal and an assist on Sunday. Mike Babcock keeps saying that Riley Sheahan doesn't realize how good he can be. Trying to get as much out of him as he can on the offensive side of things. Puck's knocked down by Boyes. Covered at the line by Helm. Trying to get through was McKenzie. He couldn't. Shidlitsky. Back for his defense partner, Brendan Smith. Under a minute to go here in the opening period. Good play in for Anderson. Saved by Luongo, and the rebound right there will hang on. Coming up in our Ram intermission report, 30 seconds playing time from now, Eric Cole. One of the newer Red Wings. We'll guess with our Trevor Thompson and Darren Elliott in studio. We'll speak of the fine play of Peter Mrazek. And Mickey York will lead you through our festivities in our Ram intermission report coming up. And I'll be joined by Red Wings General Manager and Executive Vice President Ken Holland during our second intermission. We'll talk how relieved Ken is that he finally got 3-on-3, at least through the GMs, and now the players have to vote on it the rest of the way, and in what form 3-on-3 in overtime will happen next season if the players approve. And we'll talk about the coach's challenge as well. We'll hear from Mike Babcock later in the game on a new wrinkle for face-offs as well next season in the league, where the offensive team will have the advantage, not the home team. Here's Nyquist back of the net. Nyquist centering one, but knocked away by Kulikov. Dumps it ahead, and back to get it is Eriksson, as 20 minutes are in the books. So Florida with the shots early. Luongo, with the help of a post, was strong for the Panthers, and Peter Mrazek had to come up with the bigger saves, and one on a breakaway on Boyes, and another one on Brad Boyes as well. His best 2 stops of the frame. More on that with Darren Elliott and Mickey York.
Welcome back to Florida. Red Wings 0, Panthers 0 after 1. Beginning of the second period with Pavel Datsyuk out of the lineup. Somebody had to pick up some slack for him in this line of Anderson, Nyquist, Pulkkinen. Very good. I thought Pulkkinen was the best player for the Red Wings on the ice in that first period. And what this line is doing very well, they're skating, moving their feet, they're competing real hard, winning those one-on-one battles. And here you see them moving their feet. Anderson skating, putting pucks in the net. They got the middle lane drive as well. They're doing everything that Mike Babcock asks of them. They all played a lot of minutes that period. Anderson was 6. Usually he's not that high, so expect that third line to continue to play if they keep doing those things tonight.
Joachim Anderson has been shifted from wing to center this season, as has Glendening, as has Helm. Mike Babcock thinks Helm's a winger to stay now, and certainly when Pavel Datsyuk's in the lineup, he compliments him very well on the wing, and tonight complimenting Riley Sheahan, who's in the middle. And there's Vincent Trocheck, a graduate of Little Caesars. And speaking of Little Caesars, congratulations to the O2 Caesars, who were second in the Quebec Pee-wee tournament as the Detroit Junior Red Wings, but they won the Pee-wee Major State title, and a great coach by Chris Draper. So once again, a three-peat for them, for the O2s. So congratulations to Little Caesars winning the state title. Trocheck has done well for Florida and well against the Red Wings this season. Maybe a little extra impetus coming out of the Caesars program. Cole tries to get that puck, kicked at by Kronwall. A stick in there by Eriksson. Finally freed for Cole, but it didn't get out, so Eriksson will try. Here's Zetterberg in. The shot off the goal post. And out of play. That hit the netting. So off the bar by Zetterberg and out of play.
Well, great opportunity here early. Zetterberg follows up the Panthers defenseman, turning that puck over, and just a quick release. That's what made that play. Zetterberg jumps on this right away, and a turnover by the veteran Mitchell. He's not used to those, and Luongo didn't even see that deep in the net, fading backwards. Zetterberg had him beat, but off the bar and into the netting.
So the face-off to the left of Luongo. That draw won by Florida. And a penalty upcoming here. It'll be to the Panthers as they touch. Interference will be the call. So the Red Wings are going to head to a power play as Alex Petrovic will go off.
Florida, number 72, minor penalty for interference.
Yeah, Petrovic, just dangerous play there, hitting Tatar from behind. And the players know better than that. They're taught that. They see the videos at the start of the year. It's a dangerous play by Petrovic. Tatar lucky he didn't sustain an injury on that play. Obvious penalty there for the Florida Panthers defenseman.
So the Red Wings are going to head to a power play. Picked by Mitchell. Around for Upshaw. Ahead for Dave Bolin. Bolin cuts back to the middle. Red Wing power play, second in the National Hockey League now. Washington first. By 0.4 of a percentage point better. The Red Wings out of first in the power play department for the first time since January 31st. Carried back in by Cole. Over to get it on the near side, but Shedlitsky was taken out. Too far for Cole, and Mitchell will wrap it off the linesman skate to center. Marek Shedlitsky with it, and we've seen his great shot. That was evidenced again in Pittsburgh on Sunday. And he settled in nicely. Had a goal and an assist on Sunday. Son's a good hockey player and playing in New Jersey as the Red Wings go offside as Shedlitsky's family has stayed behind. But here's a look at his game on Sunday.
And these are absolute rockets here in Pittsburgh. And I didn't know that he had this hard of a shot. And I played against Shedlitsky before. And while right-handed shot coming to the wings, he really lined himself up beautifully for those two one-timers. Absolute rockets. Fleury with no opportunities added that dimension for the Red Wings on their power play. That right-handed shot they haven't had all season long.
Nyquist carries in. Bell Tire power play Detroit. Jokinen came to the near side, nowhere near. Kulikov, quick shot. It glanced off Zetterberg. As Applicator sent it through, Polkinen's got it back to the line. Kronwall gives him the puck back. Polkinen for Zetterberg. Polkinen looks to get open. In Brett Hull-like fashion, he'll switch to the near side circle. Just waiting on his off wing. He's got it now. He shoots. Oh, and just off the outside of the post, Luongo a piece of that. Bo Polkinen likes to find that quiet ice. Down low, Nyquist off a skate. Luongo will hold. We saw the evidence of the Polkinen shot in Pittsburgh on Sunday. And another attempt right here.
Now you watch Barkov's doing his best for the Panthers to watch Polkinen. He just slides over nicely in that Brett Hull fashion, like you said, Ken. Absolute rocket. Just hits the shaft of Luongo's sticker. Would have beaten him. And here, an absolute bullet shot past Fleury. This kid has been playing very, very well for the Red Wings and really skating besides the shot. And this is an absolute rocket as well. And while he's really finding his way here at the NHL and learning how to get open and learning how to play in space.
That puck is deflected out of play. Right back out there he comes. That play hit a glove over at the bench. So we're going to stop and play in the Big Ten tournament going on at the Joe. Michigan with a 1-0 lead over Wisconsin. Nearing the end of the first, Zach Hyman with the goal. The Florida Panthers draft pick assisted by Dylan Larkin. The winner of this game will go on to meet Michigan State. And again, you can get tickets to that one starting at just $20. Go to olympiaentertainment.com/Big10 for the big meetings tomorrow at the Joe. Puck came free. Luongo stopped it short side. Came loose again. Another whack at it. And a try there by Yurko along with Miller. Off the stick of Barkov, play is called offside at the Red Wing line.
Well, the fourth line gets an opportunity to get on the ice and make things happen, and Yurko really persistent, staying on top of that puck. Luongo squeezing the side of the net, but Miller not to be outdone on Yurko. Good thing he did there is he stayed at the net, created another opportunity. Miller getting out front, ricocheted off Luongo and wide, but good shift by that fourth line.
That long stretch pass was too far, and that will result in an icing, so the faceoff comes back into the Detroit zone. Big game tonight in Ottawa. You can see Ottawa on the right with 79 points, Boston with 83. The Senators home to Boston tonight and lead 3-2 in the third period. Boston had led by a pair in that game, and Boston chasing Detroit, so everybody needing the points. Big night, as they all are now in the National Hockey League, and down the stretch we come. Here's Boyes back of the net. Here's Helm looking ahead for Tatar. Here comes Bukestad, dropped it back. In for Boyes. Back to Bukestad, high slot, and a save by Mrazek. Petrovic. That shot went wide. Tatar over to get it. In for Helm. Trying to keep it away from Petrovic. Then knocked away from Bukestad. Helm's got it with Sheahan open. Helm looks for help. He was checked there by Petrovic. As the Panthers, Peary carries in. Brandon Peary gets it deep. Jokinen goes after it. Zetterberg whipped that pass onto the stick of Eric Cole. Cole with that good speed and a save by Luongo. Mitchell tied up Cole, who stays with it. Played by Dave Bolin to an open wing for Jokinen. Trocheck, Bolin, quick shot rising high. Titus Stanchion took a weird bounce. Abdelkader on his career season, 19 goals and 37 points for Abdelkader. Turning away from Gabranson, finds to Kaiser. Cross, Quincy couldn't one time. Wrist shot tipped in front of the goal by Zetterberg and over top and into the netting.
Oh, Peter Mrazek once again off a nice rush by the Florida Panthers. The Red Wings really did a nice job to figure out the first, but the trailer came in and Mrazek read this perfect. Look at him, already in position, reading that play beautifully. He's looking, his eyes are up the ice. He's looking to see where the secondary attack is coming from. Found that Panther player open and was already there waiting for that shot. Nice read once again by Mrazek.
Nyquist able to help on that faceoff as Anderson held on to McKenzie. So second man in on the draw. Volkinen able to find that puck, moved it back. Smith joining the rush. Smith in deep. Couldn't bust past Ekblad. Back of the goal, Anderson out front, tries to jam it in, and a save made by Luongo. And a good play by Joachim Anderson to take it to the goal.
Yeah, exactly, Ken. This line continues its strong play here tonight for the Red Wings, and nice body position by Nyquist. And what makes that play, Anderson takes that to the net hard, physical play, takes it towards Luongo for the jam play. Nyquist with a nice play. Anderson takes it to the net. Like Polkin is right there. He's charging in too. This line has really been tenacious for the Red Wings so far in this game. Impressed with a third line.
Barkov and Glendening on this draw. Or came back to the point and over top of the goal as Glendening did a good job to win that one. And again, as is the rule now in the National Hockey League, the visiting team must put their stick down first in the face-off dot. So that's an advantage to the home side, and that could change next year. Comes back to the line, Petrovic. Look for a redirect in front. High slot, and Mrazek will hold on. And speaking of face-offs, we'll hear from Mike Babcock on the rule change proposed for next season on draws. A proposed rule change on face-offs for next year is all about creating offense, which means the offensive team next year will have the advantage. Here's Mike Babcock.
It's a proven fact that we win more face-offs at home than we do on the road. Why? Because the other guy's got to put his stick down and stop. And the guy putting his stick down second doesn't stop, he cheats. So this way the advantage will go to the offensive team.
So whenever the puck's in the zone, it's the team in the offensive zone. Right now it would be an advantage to the Florida Panthers. It would be the Red Wings who would have to put their stick down first, and then the Panthers can come in, as Mike Babcock says, cheat. Right in front of the goal, knocked away by Luongo. Right now that was their advantage anyway, because the Red Wings are on the road. But it won't be the road team next year, as that'll be held by Mrazek. The only time that'll change is when the puck's in center ice. But it'll be just creating more offense, I guess, Chris, is the main thing.
I think that's a great rule. And I mean, talking another rule that could be changed too is they haven't really talked about is offsides. If you go offside, why not have the face-off in the team that goes offside, have it in their defensive zone? You get more offensive face-offs, which create more offensive opportunities, and the league wants more goals. That would help as well.
And we'll hear from Ken Holland, Red Wings general manager and executive vice president, during our second intermission tonight. He'll guest with me as that puck's deflected out of play, and he'll talk about his 3-on-3 that he's been trumpeting for many years now, and at the Prospects Tournament up in Traverse City, it works great. It's in the American Hockey League. But how will they do it? Will they start 3-on-3 overtime, or will they do like the American Hockey League, play 4-on-4, and after 3 minutes go to 3-on-3 and extend overtime from 5 minutes to 7?
I'm guessing, as an ex-player, I would think the players would want to start 3-on-3 right off the bat, have it 5 minutes, the same as it is now, but just play 3-on-3 instead of 4-on-4.
So the players have to okay all this, so still to be determined. We'll hear from Ken Holland on that and the new Coaches Challenge proposal for next year. All that coming out of the GM meetings here in Florida, where Ken Holland spent the week, so he's enjoyed things in more ways than one. Carried by Cole. Taken out by Mitchell. DeKeyser able to knock it down at center. Boys got it to the line. Abdelkader was there to intercept on Brandon Peary. Another former Hawk. And Dale Talon knew very well. Talon's gone back to the well, and with that, he's got a good young team developing here. Peary came from the Hawks for a 3rd-round pick and a 5th round. Aaron Ekblad around for Campbell. The veteran defenseman mentoring the rookie. Campbell for Ekblad. Ekblad, who grew up loving the Red Wings. He's from Windsor. Nyquist dumps it in, and Ekblad will go there along with Brendan Smith, who couldn't get past Jokinen. Now Anderson, chased by Trocheck. Bolin gave it away. Nyquist kept it in. It's wide of Luongo. Joakim Anderson back in front of the goal, and it was just past Pokinen. Anderson back for Nyquist. His line's been good tonight. Pokinen waiting in the slot. Good job by Jokinen there on Jedlitsky. Here's Pokinen shooting one. Anderson went for a redirect. Played ahead for David Bolin, who from his own side of center dumped it down ice. This will be icing. So Florida unable to change, and they've been out there for a while, and the Red Wings will take advantage here.
With Pulkkinen, we're always talking about his hard shot, how good he shoots the puck, but he's a very smart player. Watch him here. He gets above the play, realizes his defenseman's in trouble, covers up and makes a smart play just to get this puck on the net, realizing he has Anderson heading towards the goal. But watch him here. Sedlicky's in a little bit of trouble. He comes back, really covers for him. He's high and decides to throw this on net with bodies, and then Anderson almost got a stick on that. Nice, smart play by Pulkkinen.
Held by Luongo off the draw, so face-off, same spot. Now Florida can get the change they want. After that icing. So the Red Wings didn't make it tough on them on that one. Anderson tried to get it ahead for Tatar, didn't work. Kronwall for Helm. Gave it away to Kopecky. And Mrazek smartly will just hold on. Take the face off. There's a look at Aaron Ekblad. Not by coincidence, he wears number 5, considering the Red Wings were his favorite team and Nick Lidstrom was his favorite player. He makes a great first pass, makes things look so easy. Just 18 years old. The winning goal against Detroit back on December 2nd. Plays 22 minutes a night. I know you talk about Johnny Gaudreau for a possible Calder winner, as that shot sails wide. And yes, he should be in the running, but Aaron Ekblad just 18.
I was thinking the exact same thing. In defense, in some terms, is a tougher position for a young player to play in the National Hockey League. And he's been great back there. He plays against the other team's best players and doesn't look out of place at all. He deserves to be in the running for the Rookie of the Year.
Along with Philip Forsberg, who slowed a little bit, and he and Gaudreau could split some votes there. But yeah, everybody here just raving about Ekblad. It's a franchise-type player, and just like Nick Lidstrom was. I don't know if he'll ever be as good, but he sure looks good.
+7 as an 18-year-old. He knows how to play the game the right way.
Nice save there by Luongo off the 40-footer from Yurko. We're back in a moment past the halfway point.
Looks like young Peter Mrazek with his play has won the admiration of a Red Wings fan. There's a number 34 in the back of a fan. And Peter's been great again playing the puck. Now, these are just little simple plays in the defense that go a long ways. This play is my one that I'm most impressed with. This little bump play to Abdelkader, short-handed, which allows him to get the puck out. These little short 10-foot, 15-foot passes that he does make enable the Red Wings to get out of their end easier and really foils that forecheck of the Florida Panthers. Great work by Mrazek playing the puck so far tonight.
Zetterberg, Cole, and Abdelkader. Abdelkader goes after that puck, but Mitchell got there first, intercepted by Jonathan Ericsson. Knocked out of the air by Mitchell for Alexander Barkov, the second overall pick in 2013. Doesn't get out. Then went over Barkov's stick right to Cole. Kronwall. Little stutter step to get it back to Ericsson. Knocked it down with his glove. Looked for a redirect in front of the goal. Gabranson goes for it. Ericsson pinching in deep. Zetterberg was there to cover. And now the Panthers, 3 of them come out as Barkov drives the goal. Back into the slot for Jágr. Scores!
Oh, nice passing play here by the Florida Panthers. It ends in a Jágr goal. But just to pinch up the boards there, cost the Wings here. A little odd man rush. They're trying to get back to figure this thing out, and Jágr cuts across the seam. Mrazek gets off his angle just a bit, follows Jágr a little bit too much, and Jágr's able to find that far side. Jágr, left-handed shot. Mrazek just got a bit of his body out of the net there, allowing that open side to the glove side. Jágr's not going to miss that.
Mrazek grew up watching Jágr, his countryman. Would have loved to have stopped him on that one.
And that's the difference with a player with the amount of points and experience of Jaromir Jágr. He just waited that extra half a second, bringing Mrazek over that little inch or two, enabling that open side to open up, and he made no mistake going glove side.
So one of his heroes beats him. Turning back with it is Sheahan as the Red Wings trail in this game now by 1. Sheahan right back in. Sheahan cuts toward the goal. And then Kulikov got the best of him. Bjugstad, 19th overall draft pick. A bouncing puck. That's Jágr's second goal in his 9th game as a Panther and his 6th point. Jágr with 13 goals and 35 points in the season. Into the slot. Back to Anderson at the goal post. Oh, he had Luongo beat and Anderson rattled the iron. That's 2 this period. Anderson off the post. Anderson back in again in the slot, but taken away, and here comes Peary. Loose side of the goal, Red Wings miscue, but Mrazek able to hold the fort on that. Here's Zidlitsky. Nyquist missed the bat down, and it's sent back in by Ekblad. Laid back for Glendening, taken here by Mitchell. Backhanded in by Miller. Mitchell. Taken to the boards by Miller. McKenzie went down on the play, thought he was interfered with. Brendan Smith back. Forced by Kopecky. Brought in here for Miller. Smith to the goal. There it is. And just wide of the net. Chipped off a Red Wing glove and into the bench and out of play. Well, a little more history for Jaromir Jagr with that goal, his 13th of the season, but the 718th of his career, passing the great Phil Esposito. One-time Hawk, and then Boston and the Rangers. An all-time goal scorer. 5th all-time. Passing Espo. I don't know if he'll play long enough to catch Dion, but he's in great shape. Maybe another year, who knows? Huberdeau. Good defensive play by DeKeyser to knock that puck away. Eric Cole back deep. Tipped it past Kulikov for Abdelkader. We got checked there by Petrovic. Jagr with a good move. Had it knocked down at center. Abdelkader gets past him. Zetterberg intercepted. Didn't want to play it there. The play would have been offside. Zetterberg goes off on a change. Jagr goes after it, and he has it. Into Barkov. Drop back. Here's Peary. He's going to be a great goal scorer in his own right. Shot deflected in front of the goal. They score! Got another one. A quick line change at the blue line by the Florida Panthers. Defenseman jumps on. Little tic-tac-toe, and the shot comes through. This defenseman right here, he came off the bench. The Red Wings got a little confused, and then the pass back, across the ice again. The shot through. Mrazek unable to corral that and hold that puck. Jagr in front poking away, and Panthers really corralled this and got this in. Peary just got his stick on there late. Probably would have been Jagr's second of the game. Had Peary not come in and tapped it in. It was already headed towards the back of the net. But a quick line change at the blue line. Defenseman change really seemed to confuse that forward for the Red Wings that was up high watching him, enabling them to go back across the blue line for the shot in on Mrazek, who couldn't control the rebound. Brandon Peary, one of those who played just 1 year of college as a freshman and then came out and was with Chicago before Dale Tallon got him here in Florida. But Peary, although that could have been Jagr's goal, now is his 14th goal his past 19 games and 4 goals the past 4 games for Brandon Peary, who could become a legitimate 25 to 30 goal man in a full healthy season. Right now they've given the goal to Jagr. That'll likely change by looks of of our last replay. From the naked eye, it looked like Jágr on the call, but seems that Pirri knocked in what would have been Jágr's anyway. So the Red Wings in a hole here by a couple. Chipped back in by Detroit. 2 goals in 3 minutes and 47 seconds by the Panthers. After our next TV timeout, we'll bring you an update with Mickey York from Boston and Ottawa tonight in Ottawa. As Ottawa chases the Bruins and the Bruins chase the Red Wings and Florida chases them both. Campbell ahead to Jokinen. It was behind Trocheck, but on to Dave Bolland. Jokinen tried to knock it down. Jokinen and his team leading 32 assists this year. Brendan Smith to center. Just off the bench, Abdelkader. Eric Cole held up his man as Zetterberg tried to bring it out front. Abdelkader pushed to the boards by Petrovic. Abdelkader spinning away from him, back of the net, and a good turn to get free ice. De Keyser, the shot. Quincy on Upshaw. Abdelkader squeezed through the boards by Petrovic, who gets hit by Cole. Kulikov, an outlet feed, and finally Kopecky for Florida. Second round pick of the Red Wings in 2000, Kopecky. And a cup winner with Detroit in 08. We're moving on to Chicago. Chicago's like Florida North. Fired in by De Keyser. Mitchell for Gabranson. Gabranson, the 3rd overall pick in 2010. Past 5 drafts, Florida's had the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd overall picks. And they'll host the June NHL draft coming up for the next one in the McDavid and Eichel sweepstakes. As there's a look at the goal scorer, Brandon Pirri, who's done so well. Finds those open spaces. And is one of the hottest shooters in the NHL right now with 14 goals in 19 games. Campbell tried to stop Tatar. Tatar keeps on going. Knocked away by Barkov. Back in goes Helm. His return to the Red Wing lineup after that oblique strain. Helm kicks that errant stick out of the way, keeps going. Jágr tried to stop him. Back to the point for Kronwall. Over Anderson's stick. Ekblad ties up Helm, and Luongo will hold on to that loose puck. Highlights from Boston, Ottawa tonight in a moment.
Well, they sure couldn't have got things started for the Florida Panthers on this goal. Jonathan Eriksson pinches in right here. Comes in now. He's supposed to. He's being aggressive, coming down, trying to provide some offense to the Red Wings. I'll stop it right here. Now Cole right here. He can't come in here. He's got to stay above this puck and provide Eriksson with that support. And now off to the races, the Florida Panthers go. Huberdeau makes a good play to hit Jágr late, who makes no mistake beating Mrazek left side, but just a little bit of a miscommunication. Didn't figure things out early enough there, creating that opportunity, which the Panthers made good.
Nyquist able to intercept, got the loose puck. And Luongo will find that. Florida desperately trying to catch the Bruins or Washington for a wild card spot. They've had no playoff round victories since the '96 final. They lost to New Jersey in 2012 in Game 7 in extra time. And Gerard Gallant trying to get him back there. And he's done a good job with this young team, and I'm sure having Jaromir Jagr with him doesn't hurt at this stage of the game either. Poland and Zetterberg on the draw. Again, Zetterberg needs to put his stick down first, as the rules are now. Around for DeKeyser. Good outlet play there as Nyquist got it through to Zetterberg. Right in, hit the goal post again. Off the bar 2 times this period now for Henrik Zetterberg. A little switch of the line here with Nyquist up when Applicators knocked down back of the goal by Gabranson. Mike Babcock looking on at the official in disbelief, and it's going to be a Red Wing penalty. So Mark Jonette's made the call. Mike Babcock's not sure what he's thinking.
Detroit, number 14, minor penalty for cross-checking.
Nyquist sits.
Yeah, and the Red Wings haven't had much luck around Luongo. They've had him down and out a few times, and 4 times they've rung the bar, rung the post, combined. And here at 2-on-0, Luongo stacks the pads, Anderson off the post, and once again, second time for Zetterberg. Hits the crossbar. They've had Luongo beat. Goalie's best friend, those posts have came through. Here's the penalty. He's battling in behind, and to the dismay of Mike Babcock, trying to figure out who had this penalty. Applicator taken out behind the net.
The last shove by Nyquist. It was the last one that got the cross-check. So Florida on the power play, their second of the game. They had 4 shots but no goals in their first power play. Campbell moved it for Alexander Barkov. Confident player, great hockey sense. Mrazek able to move it. And back down again by the Red Wings, and that'll do it for period number 2. A period in which Florida scores 2. So Mike Babcock's team will be shorthanded to begin the third period. I'll speak with Ken Holland about the general manager's meetings, which took place here in Florida. Mike Babcock having a final say with the officials, and the glare will tell it all. There will be no glares, only smiling faces, though, from Darren Elliott and Mickey York. So the Red Wings will begin the third period here in Florida. Shorthanded, Gus Nyquist with 1:17 to go in his penalty. And you saw Mike Babcock before we left here after 2. Watch Applicator get mauled here by Gabranson. Interference, whatever, and no call. This is what really upset Mike Babcock. And on the same sequence, watch the right side of your screen. That's the penalty that Gus Nyquist gets here.
And well, Ken, you can see the final shot that Applicator gets while he's down to the head. The referee is now watching what Nyquist is up to in the corner. Really didn't have a visual of that play behind the net. Earlier play, Ekblad really without a stick, pinning Helm to the boards once or twice could have warranted a holding call as well. So if the Red Wings can get out in this third period and start skating, moving their feet, getting to the net, they should be able to draw some penalties against the Florida Panthers.
So third period underway as Kronwall sends it down the ice. Luongo in his return after missing 6 gave it to Campbell. Getting it back now from Bukestad. And a return feed off the stick of Brandon Pirri, who's got the second goal tonight. Around by Mrazek to Eriksson and down the ice just that simple. And right on goal. There was some suspicion in this building that Florida tends to go the home side on shots on goal, and the visitors don't get credited for what they should be credited. Although tonight the Red Wings have hit pipe 4 times, and those don't count on shots on goal. That's the save made by Mrazek, right on goal from Campbell. Sheahan's outlet try hit Anderson, who keeps on going with it. Anderson trying to break free, good second effort. winding down on the Nyquist penalty as Ekblad's got it. The first overall pick in 2014. Mrazek moves it quickly. Zetterberg was checked before he could clear. Jagr goes after the puck, now 5th all-time in goals with his score tonight. Red Wings back at full strength. DeKeyser ahead to Zetterberg. On it goes for Luke Glendening. Glendening trying to get around Ekblad, and a good recovery there by the 18-year-old. Jagr at 43 got it out to center. Barkov couldn't come through with it. Here comes Nyquist. Ahead for Abdelkader, got checked as Trocheck. Got it to Petrovic. Ahead to Alexander Barkov. To Kulikov. Zhidlitsky. Bolin. Check Polkinen. Smith trying to get the puck back his way, but Jokinen was able to move it ahead. And a save made by Mrazek. Good stop there with Bolin looking for the rebound. He stopped Trocheck. Another shot. Mrazek kicked it way out, knew right where it was going. Teemu Polkinen left the puck there at center ice, and the Panthers will regroup. Jokinen, his pass. Hits Sheahan. Helm tried to come through. And again, the Red Wings without Pavel Datsyuk tonight, and they won't have him tomorrow night in Tampa. 7 o'clock Red Wings live tomorrow night. Amalie Arena, Tampa, Florida. Datsyuk with a lower body injury, resting. And the chances, Mike Babcock said before the game, to get him freshened up. Tatar goes in after it. Aaron Ekblad there first. Sent it for Anderson, went past him. Kronwall for Eriksson, and a lead pass for Cole. Cole was out with Anderson and Tatar, so again the juggling here. Nyquist, as he was in the second, rejoins Zetterberg and Abdelkader here early in the third. Stay tuned to Red Wings Live following the game, or we'll select the Fox Sports Detroit Red Wings Player of the Game, presented by the Shamrock Shake. And again, Abdelkader in the middle of things, taking all those face washes, as he usually does.
Ken, the Panthers are playing like a desperate team right now. They need to win. They need to go about 10-2 down the stretch here in their last 12 games. And they're playing exactly like that, really taking away the time and space in Red Wings, especially on that left side when the Wings are trying to get in on that side of the ice. The defenseman is coming up, taking away any time. Red Wings are going to have to dump pucks in, get them behind the Florida Panther defense, and retrieve pucks and really forecheck hard and get some shots on Luongo.
Henrik Zetterberg over there to get it. Into the middle for Nyquist. Couldn't shoot it. He was checked at the last second, and Jagr's got it. Jagr got it over to Barkov, knocked away. Many think the Panthers will attempt to re-sign Jaromir Jagr in the offseason. He's always in great shape, thinking he'll play another year when he'll be 44. He got hit by Abdelkader as Barkov dropped it to Huberdeau. The return feed, then Abdelkader was checked, but there is Jonathan Eriksson. Sheahan knocked off stride. And then so too was Dmitry Kulikov. And himself a suspension this year for a low body hit. Seguin. Eriksson put it in deep. Polkinen reaching in there for it. Polkinen with Sheahan and Helm. And Tatar and Polkinen have switched lines from the start of the game. Wraparound try. And Mrazek stopped Brad Boyes, who just fanned on that attempt, but they hold it in at the line. Shot went off Kronwall to the corner. Eriksson battling with Brandon Peary, who had the second Florida goal tonight. Ahead for Kulikov. Jedlicki got it to center. Lead pass chip, but it goes into the Florida bench, where Jaromir Jagr is seated at the moment. And this from earlier in the game tonight in period number 2. Watch how much coaching he does, and with the young players. And this, Chris, is why, and he has everyone's attention, even the coaching staff. This is why Florida will likely re-sign Jagr in the offseason if he wants to play another year, and the feeling is he will. Long conversations.
And that's how you play when you're 43. Yes, he's an ultra-talented hockey player, but he's a very smart, bright player out there, knows how to get around the hockey rink. And talking to those younger guys, what a thrill for these guys in the Florida Panthers to get an opportunity to play with a player of his stature.
Off the glass by Bolin and deflected out of play, so the face-off will come back to the right of Roberto Luongo. And with the Big Ten Championship going on at Joe Louis Arena, you can still get tickets for games there tomorrow. And to update you, and Zach Hyman with a couple of goals in that one, a couple of assists for Dylan Larkin. Again, the Zach Hyman, a draft pick of Florida. Larkin, the 15th overall by the Red Wings. They've set the Big Ten on fire this year, and it could be Michigan State tomorrow at the Joe. If Michigan goes on to win that game. Right now it's Ohio State and Minnesota in the other game, as Ohio State beat Penn State 3-1 earlier today at the Joe, the Big Ten Championships. Well, I would think we'll have quite the walk-up crowd and a big demand for tickets tomorrow. It's Michigan State, so you may want to get them early. You can go to OlympiaEntertainment.com for tickets as Zetterberg brings it through. Brendan Smith put it in back of the net. Nyquist got some help there from Zetterberg. Now Abdelkader has to chase. Coming in, Marek Jedlicki. Abdelkader covering up, gets knocked down. It's a 2-on-1 as a result. Here's Upshaw right in. Scores!
Battling in the neutral zone, gets bumped out by Kopecky, and Upshaw's off to the races here. Mrazek gets a little deep, a little off his angle, kind of like the Jagr goal as well. And Upshaw makes no mistake going high glove. Has his right foot against that post, but I know Mrazek, he would like to be out a little farther on that. Out of the blue paint there, he would have made that save a little too deep for his liking for sure. It's a tough goal for the Wings to give up here. 7 minutes into the third.
He gets his first goal in 8 games to Scotty Upshaw. Glendening angled back to the line. Kronwall able to keep it in. Unassisted goal for Upshaw. Petrovic hits Glendening. Eriksson moved up, knocked away, and Kronwall to get it. Yurko puts it deep into the Florida end. Red Wings in the midst of a change. Brought on by Kulikov. To Jagr off his stick. Kyle Quincy. Moves it through for Helm. Good move through the middle. Here he comes. Helm with a shot. And right into that Panther logo. It's the Panthers by 3 in the third on Fox Sports Detroit.
Come back. Nissan brings you the drive to the net. This is Florida's third goal. And hold it right here, guys. Jedlicki comes in. Kind of like the same thing with Eriksson earlier in the game on the Jagr goal. Pitches in. Abdelkader's got to stay above this. He doesn't. Kopetzky's a big man. He comes over, physically takes Abdelkader down. Upshaw comes in here on the 2-on-1. Smith does a nice job to take away the pass. Mrazek's got to realize that, and he's got to come out of the blue and really be aggressive like he normally would be. Can't be happy that he sat a little bit too far back there, enabled that shot by Upshaw to go high over the glove. Kind of like the Jagr goal. He's got to be more aggressive. He got away from that a bit.
Back of the net for Helm, put it in front of the goal. Great opportunity and a penalty coming here to Florida as Pulkkinen had the swipe at it. Then the hooking call, so the Red Wings are going to go to a Bell Tire power play. Down by 3 in this game.
Pulkkinen continues to be the Red Wings.
Florida number 5, Mario
one
Bell
of
for
their
hooking.
best players on the ice in this game tonight, and really going to the net hard. Penalty taken here on Shea in front of the net by Ekblad. Red Wings doing a good job. These youngsters going to the net tonight, making things hard in Luongo. They just haven't got any puck luck around that net.
Just the Red Wings' second power play of this game. Red Wings power play brought to you by Bell Tire. They've scored a power play goal in 9 consecutive games. Highest streak of this season. They score another one tonight. It would be their longest power play streak since the 09-10 campaign. They do miss one of the best with the man advantage. Pavel Datsyuk not in tonight. But still, plenty of weapons to go to. And Zetterberg one of those. Dumps a bouncer in. First back to Branson. Hits Zetterberg with it. Abdelkader and Nyquist. Trying to get it. Zetterberg. Back for Nyquist. To Abdelkader. Pulkkinen circling. Kronwall goes back to Nyquist. Pulkkinen open far side. They go that way. Back to Kronwall. Now to Nyquist. One-timer and he missed. And it'll pinball all the way back.
After 2 periods, going into the third, the Red Wings had 16 missed shots. They continue to miss the net here in the third. If they want to have any chance of coming back, they got to start hitting the net here.
Here's Pulkkinen. Back to Kronwall, the shot, and a save made, and it's called offside. The Scouting Report brought to you by Oakland University, and the Red Wings have had rest. Or more often than not, their last game was Sunday at Pittsburgh. So they've had 3 days, 7-1-1 this season. And you would figure that should be the case.
Well, they're not going to get the 2-day rest or the 3-day rest here moving forward. 14 games in 24 days, a heck of a lot of hockey they got to play.
And they did not skate this morning. We are a good half an hour away from this building where we stay, and to go there and back, and Mike Babcock wasn't sure it was the right thing to do. However, he did it and gave the guys the day off, at least until they started heading over here at 4 o'clock or so. Mike Babcock heads over here around 1:30 or 2. After plenty of prep work earlier in the day, and giveaway there. Likely won't be a skate tomorrow either. The Lightning will skate in preparation for their game tomorrow night with the Red Wings. Time winding down on the penalty. Cole able to get it to Tatar. One last chance here. Power play over. Nobody open. Panthers doing a good job. Ekblad out of the box. Has the puck and gave it away. Tatar in front. They score! Eric Cole from Tatar. And it's a 3-1 game. Just past the halfway point here in the third. And plenty of Red Wing fans here making noise.
Well, Ekblad is not going to be happy with himself here. Comes out of the penalty box. He had an opportunity to get this puck out. Tatar jumped him and made this nice play behind the net here. Really, right here, Ekblad has an opportunity to get out. Can't get it out. Shane does a good job of muscling him off the puck. Nice little touch pass out front to Cole, who makes no mistake. But Shane, great play here physically. Overtakes Ekblad of the puck, pokes it to Tatar, who puts it out front quickly. That's the key to that. He doesn't wait, doesn't dust it off. Quick pass out front to Cole, who makes no mistake. Luongo, who likes to go down a little early, puts it right over that right shoulder and up high into the net.
Well, Cole, who got a late goal in that debacle in Philadelphia on the power play, gets an even strength goal here as Tatar set him up. So the Red Wings on the board here. Mrazek, too hard for Quincy. Mitchell checked by Glendening. Yurko goes after it with Eric Branson, who lost an edge and went down. As the Panthers clear it down. So Eric Cole's got himself a 20-goal campaign as he scores his 20th of the season to get the Red Wings on the board. Red Wings down by 2 to the Panthers. Your local Toyota dealers brings you the scouting report on the Atlantic Division contenders. And Ottawa, 4 behind Boston coming into the game tonight. The Senators and Bruins in Ottawa tied 4-4 in the third period. Montreal leading Carolina 3-0. So they should pick up 2 more in that game. Tampa in a race with them. Detroit in a race with Tampa. They'll meet the Lightning tomorrow night in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, Montreal goes to 97 points. Be tough for the Red Wings to catch them. Tampa Bay and Montreal battling for that overall spot. Detroit hoping to pass Tampa Bay in a possible first-round matchup and have home ice.
And trying to keep Boston back as the Shedlitsky diving at the line to hold it in. So Red Wing fans are thinking, go Sens, go tonight. Here's Nyquist right in. Saved by Luongo. Big stop right there on Gus Nyquist. Nyquist hit the post earlier. Finds Zetterberg. Just missed Shedlitsky with it. Zetterberg's got it. Trying to throw it off Luongo to Abdelkader. As the Red Wings press here to get within 1. Eric Cole's got him on the board with his 20th goal this season. That'll be held by Luongo.
Well, let's take a look at Big Boy's big play of the game. And Luongo, the veteran goaltender, closing in on 400 wins. And Red Wings doing a great job to keep this puck in. And Nyquist really makes a nifty move here, brings us to the net. And Luongo does a good job. He goes down early, but he gets back up and pushes out. And that's the key to that save. Biggest save of the game so far for Luongo.
Anderson was checked, tries to recover. Conwall for Eriksson. Lead pass through for Anderson, flipped it toward the goal. Cole went down in a heap, gets back up. Cole, who has 20, has 4 seasons of 25 or more goals. A race for the puck for Huberdeau as the Panthers are changing. Eriksson pushing on Huberdeau. In comes Jagr, and that big body and that big rear end of his. Through the middle comes the speedster. Helm was checked. De Kaiser goes for it. Off Polkinen's stick. Carried back in by Upshaw, who's got the 3rd goal. Polkinen off Helm's stick, back in by Florida. De Kaiser for Polkinen. He got through. Erica Branson circles the goal. Pass over Brad Boy's stick. Lead pass in for Zetterberg, surrounded by Panther jerseys. Back to the line for Smith. Shot went high. Great chance there for Detroit. Mitchell for Boys. Brendan Smith, good job to keep in. Then Mitchell followed up on the play for Boys and a whack at it down ice. 6:10 to go in the third period. Ken Daniels, Chris Osgood with you here from the BB&T Center. Glad you're with us tonight on Fox Sports Detroit. Red Wings need a goal here in a hurry to get within 1. Shot back in by Florida. They'll have to tag up, and they do that. Smith with a pass ahead for Nyquist. Checked by Dave Bolin. Good job defensively by the centerman for Florida. Ottawa now leading Boston 5-4 with 6 to play in Canada's capital. Big game as far as Florida is concerned.
Huge game for Ottawa.
Saved by Luongo, and Glendening was looking for that off a Yurko rebound. Mrazek will settle it. What a story in Ottawa by Hammond, the Hamburglar in goal.
Unbelievable.
He's finally allowed more than 2 goals, so doesn't break Frank Grimsick's record. However,
the confidence that club is playing with him in the net right now is amazing. What a run.
Chopped in for Kopecky. Quincy just got out of the way of a hit. Eric Cole gets it in. He and Ekblad sent back for Bolin. And past Brendan Smith and down the ice. Icing indicated here, and the face-off will come back.
Now it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Luongo coming off back after a 6-game absence from an injury to his shoulder has stood tall for the Florida Panthers, a veteran goaltender who's brings that solid effort night in and night out. That's a huge save right there, his biggest of the night off Nyquist. And he's been solid there. You can tell his team really plays differently when he's in there for this club. Veteran goalie who, like I said before, he's closing in on 400 wins. Great career, always a .920 save percentage. You put a veteran goalie on an up-and-coming good young team here in Florida. You get a very competitive team fighting for a playoff spot this season.
So Florida on the icing has called timeout. Luongo trying to even his win-loss record in regulation against the Red Wings, who haven't lost here in regulation, going all the way back to February of '96. And at Joe Louis Arena in the third period, it's still Michigan leading Wisconsin. If Michigan continues to hold on and win, they'll face Michigan State in the semifinals. It's already Ohio State versus Minnesota at the Joe. For tickets, go to olympiaentertainment.com/Big Ten. Mrazek now heading to the bench. And there's a penalty coming here to Florida for hooking. And the Red Wings are going to have a face-off in the Panthers zone when we come back. And who's getting the penalty, though, is the question. It might be Detroit. It's going to be the Red Wings who will be shorthanded. We'll be back in a minute. While Teemu Pukkinen's feeling shame, although I think someone else should be, he gets slew-footed. Watch here. But he gets the hooking penalty.
That's one of the most dangerous plays in hockey nowadays, going backwards. Pulkkinen can't protect himself whatsoever. Upshall, veteran player, knows better than to slew foot like that, and Pulkkinen gets the penalty.
So somehow out of that, he winds up in the box, and the Panthers go to a power play. Their third of the game, 0 for 2.
And the Red Wings are in the process of getting Mrazek out for the extra attacker to try and get that goal to put them to within one.
Miller with a shot handled by Luongo. Carried back in, Barkov right into Huberdeau, and a piece of that by Mrazek. Ekblad kept it in. Jagr moves it, gets it back. Jagr to Barkov. Campbell to Ekblad. Brian Campbell. They went for Jagr, intercepted by Kronwall. Barkov's got it. To the line for Aaron Ekblad to Campbell. Save Mrazek on Barkov. A race for it, Helm and Ekblad. Ekblad just took Helms' ice away, but he still made the play to kick it to Anderson. 25 seconds left in the penalty. To Polkinen. Well, he's in there anyway. We're not sure it was the penalty, but he's in there. Ekblad saying to the bench, I want off. He's got the puck and has to move it first. Jonathan Ericsson rimmed it around. Ahead for Anderson. Out of the box is Polkinen. He'll join Abdelkader, who gives him the puck and a shot. And it was blocked. Held in at the line by Marek Shedletsky. Zetterberg, Smith, shot wide. Net is empty for Detroit. Tatar couldn't keep it in, and a quick whistle on the offside. Get the $59 fan pack to see the Wings battle the Coyotes March 24th at the Joe, and you'll get 2 tickets, 2 food vouchers, and 2 soft drinks. And for tickets, go to DetroitRedWings.com. Boy, there's some games coming up between the Coyotes and Sabres. I wonder which team wants to win that. Net is empty if either do. The first pick in the draft coming up at stake. Here's Tatar back of the net. Went back Zetterberg's way. Shot went off a leg. Loose for Abdelkader in front for Tatar and tipped just wide. 6 skaters for the Red Wings. Minute 12 to go. Shedletsky for Henrik Zetterberg. Checked at center. Kicked it along. Couldn't get through as McKenzie cleared it. Panthers trying for their first regulation win against the Red Wings in this building since February of 1996. Nyquist. Back for Kronwall, has to hustle to keep it in, and he did. Shedletsky backhanded one. Nyquist sent it to the middle. Now Tatar has to chase. He got interfered with. No call there. Back to get it goes Kronwall with a half minute. Shedletsky ahead to Zetterberg. Zetterberg cutting back in. And the Panthers clear it, angling toward the open net. What a save right at the line by DeKeyser. With a lead pass. Here comes Helm back into the Panther zone. And Florida will clear it. With seconds left, we'll get one more face-off on the icing. But the Florida Panthers are going to win this game and beat the Red Wings for a first time in a long time in regulation and take the season series.
And a great hustle play by Danny DeKeyser here. Maximum effort right to the end to keep that from sliding in to make it 4-1, but Red Wings just unable to get pucks through to Luongo. Florida desperately doing a great job here to get this win, blocking shots.
The Florida Panthers win the game 3-1. They won at the Joe 4-3 in regulation and 3-2 in a shootout. Lost here 5-4. But for the first time since February of '96, they get a win here in regulation as Roberto Luongo came back. His first in 7. And Mike Babcock's team loses the first of 2 here in Florida, and they'll stay at 87 points. Ottawa late in the third period is leading Boston right now 5-4, so that's big for the Red Wings as far as they're concerned, not to have Boston get any points tonight, and the Red Wings will be in Tampa tomorrow night. Red Wings live at 7 o'clock. So Florida wins by 2. To the studio we go in Mickey York.